Hey everybody, what's up? Everybody's having a very great day. Uh, Everybody had a great weekend, Went out there and had some barbecue. Hopefully you weren't in the path of all this really terrible weather. Uh, we kind of had some heavy duty winds and stuff down here, but we missed most of it. But it's still coming, right? I mean, we're in that bubble of bad weather and it's expanding all the way west. So, what do, right? Well, you prepare for it, right? You make sure you have plenty of food supplies and medicine and water, stuff to go in this because you just don't know, what's going to happen. And that's why we prep. You know what I'm saying? That's why we prep. Okay, look, let's kind of like get into it, man. What about this country? Are we going to let this country actually be taken over and ruled by socialist communists? I mean, are we going to do that? Are we going to let that happen? Or are we going to, at some point, do something about it? Well, number one thing we do have to do is every swinging Piccadilly out there must vote. That's a biggie. Every single one. Mandami won in New York with what? 12% of the vote, because only 12% of the people voted. And the 12% who did vote, 99% were his kind of people. Freeloaders. They wanted free stuff, didn't want to work for it. He promised them everything he can't deliver. But that's the way of socialism and communism. They give you this wonderful view of everything, and then they don't produce. And then they start taxing you to death and taking away stuff. If they win in November, and if they win in 28, it won't be 6 months that they're coming after your stuff. That's right, your stuff. Because that's what they do. They take money and property from you and give it to those who don't deserve it. Because that's what they do. Because they want everybody equal and poor. That's what they do. They don't tell you that because they want you to vote for them. Because that's how it works. That's how it's always worked. They lie out the yin-yang. These malcontents believe it. And next thing you know, they're hurting worse off than they ever thought they could be. I'm just saying what a lot of other people are saying, because trust me on this, things will get really bad really quick. Never, ever say never, this can't happen here. Don't ever think that it can't happen in this country. It can. It can happen. And it will happen if we let it happen. It is what it is. This is their time. We've had communism and stuff in America before. We put it down. This is a little different. This is just a little different than what it once was. And these people are gaining power in communities, mayors, into the local establishment, judges, lawyers. They're getting into all this stuff, and pretty soon they'll be everywhere because they're trying to get in everywhere. Now, will they win everywhere from now, for the maybe for the near future? No. But they could win enough. And if they win enough, they could continue to win more, which would be very, very bad for you and me. Because maybe, we have a few things that we just don't want to give away to those who don't deserve it. We've worked hard all our lives. We've earned what we've got because that's how it works. You work hard, you play hard, and you get things. You know what? You get what you want. You get to own what you want. Socialism, communism, you'll never own a car, even if you want to. You won't own your stereo, even if you want to. You won't own your new TVs because you'll be leasing them and renting them more or less to the government. If that's what you want, you're in the wrong country, because this country believes in freedom. They believe in working. And we all want to get paid more. I mean, who doesn't? And we all deserve to get paid more. But it doesn't mean you stop working and take stuff from those who are working and take it for yourself, or have it given to you, taken from them. That's not right. I mean, that's no way right in America. This country stands for freedom and liberty, and it does stand for justice for all, and it does support hard workers. Now, a lot of people say we can't afford this, we can't afford that. Well, if you can't afford an $800,000 house, then buy a $400,000 house. It's simple. People say, I want that $90,000 truck, but you can't afford it. Well, then you buy a $50,000 truck or a $30,000 truck. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's just because you want $1 million house and you can't afford it, but you want the local governments or the government to take it from somebody else and give it to you, and you can't afford to even upkeep. You know what? Because you're going to have to be upkeep because you're going to have to pay rent, or you're going to have to lease it because that's what they do. And if you can't afford that, you'll be down in the slums, lower people. And that's where they want you. They want everybody the same and being poor. That's the way it is. So what we have to do to win is they've already crossed the line. So we have to do something about it. And the first thing we do, like I said, is every swinging dilly out there needs to vote. Your vote actually does count. It really does. The more numbers you have, the more candidates you'll get elected. And hopefully these candidates will at least not be communist or socialist, right? They're politicians, so none of them are great, right? And that's a simple thing. None of them are great. But there are better ones than there are other ones. So that's all I'm telling you for today. You need to stick with it. You need to hang in there. You need to cover your six, because we got some really squirrely times coming. If they take charge, if they take charge, food supply lines could be drastically reduced. Your grocery stores, as they say, they want free stores. They're never really going to have free stores. It's not going to happen. But they'll charge half arm and a leg after they're open for a little while. And everybody will be allowed, say, like one loaf of bread, one box of eggs, maybe one milk, maybe one box of cereal. You know what I'm getting? You hear what I'm saying? If it's free, you're going to get maybe just one of each. If you're in the other side of the fence, whatever you can afford, you can buy. You go to work, you earn money, and you can go buy it. That's the game of the game. That's what I grew up that way. I worked all my life. That's what I did. Everything I own pretty much is paid for, but I've earned it. I worked it. I worked for years to be able to not have to pay anything now for the stuff that I've got. You know what? I'm getting a little bit of money in the bank, and that's just how it goes. But that's what we have to do, because that's just the way it should be. It's the way it is. It's America. Nobody gets anything just for free. There's no technical free lunch. Somebody pays for it. So just remember that. There is no free lunch. Somebody pays for it. Might be you, giving them free lunches because they didn't deserve it, but they think they deserve it. So I'm saying there may come a time when we may have to actually fight. There may be a time where we'll have some type of a new revolution or a new type of civil war. It'd be very bad to have a civil war in a country, but maybe that's where we need to head to if elections don't work. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Anything's better than letting the country go socialist, communist. It just is. So, all right, then, in saying that, there's nothing but love for you. I truly mean it. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you stayed this long, God bless you. Keep the faith, cover your six, and until next time, we'll catch you later. Okie doke.